A lot of isekai anime come out every year, and some of them become real classics. There are so many great anime in this genre that it's hard to count them all. The isekai genre lets creators be very imaginative, making it a great place for strong storytelling. What are the best isekai anime ever? And here are our top 20 picks for the best isekai anime of all time. Number 20. Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. Isekai often features an overpowered hero who can easily defeat huge enemies. When the goddess Ristarts summons Seiyu to save a world in danger, she gets a hero who only fights when he is sure to win. This means he trains a lot and takes no risks in battles. Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered, but overly cautious is a mostly lighthearted adventure that revolves around the love-hate relationship between Seiyu and Ristart. The anime is driven by humor, using the protagonist's cautious mindset to create a lot of funny moments. Number 19. Sunny Boy. Written and directed by Shingo Natsume, known for One Punch Man, Space Dandy, and Boogie Pop and others. Sunny Boy is an unusual coming-of-age story similar to a surreal version of Peter Pan. A group of students is sent to a strange island, and some gain supernatural powers. This changes their relationships and power balance, leading to many intense moments. Sunny Boy is unpredictable, disjointed, and not very satisfying. The anime leaves many questions unanswered, and understanding all its details might need a second viewing. However, the anime's ambition is clear in its presentation and ambiguous storytelling. Our number 18 spot, Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill. Tsuyoshi Mukuda is summoned to a new world by a kingdom looking for heroes, but they ignore him because his ability seems weak. Instead of having great strength or magical powers, Tsuyoshi can order Earth-based items through an app. He uses this to enjoy his cooking hobby, which soon earns him a very powerful and hungry companion. Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill follows Tsuyoshi's easygoing adventure. He tries to enjoy his isekai life. The anime avoids fights and big story arcs, choosing a lighthearted and casual tone. Tsuyoshi's friendships with his familiars, Fel and Sui, are at the heart of the story, and their interactions are always enjoyable. Number 17. Magic Knight's Rayearth. Most of the kids who grew up in the 90s are familiar on this classic anime, with more depth than it seems at first. 3 schoolgirls are teleported to Sephiroth, a world where a person's will is important, and they soon begin an adventure to rescue a princess. In its early episodes, Magic Knight Rayearth is a lighthearted action-adventure with quirky characters, exciting fights, and funny villains. As the story progresses, the anime gradually becomes darker, which improves the show. Although the 3 main characters start out as somewhat stereotypical, they develop a lot, especially in the second season. Number 16. The Vision of Esa Flet. This was an epic anime and amazing when it came out in 1996 and is still impressive today. Hitomi Kanzaki ends up in a strange world called Gaia, which has mechas, unique architecture, and political intrigue. She meets Prince Van Fanel, who seems bratty at first but turns out to be more complex. Almost all the main characters have hidden depth. The Vision of Esa Flet balances multiple genres to appeal to both male and female audiences. This isekai anime features action, adventure, and romance, blending these elements skillfully. The animation, though dated, remains consistently fantastic. Number 15. Saga of Tenyu the Evil. Sometimes, an isekai stands out by featuring an anti-hero or villain as the main character. While Yujo Senki's English title suggests a more sinister protagonist, Tanya Degorachav's cold and detached nature makes the anime interesting, especially given its dark setting. When a man near death challenges a self-proclaimed god called Being X, he is reincarnated as a girl in a war-torn world. Using her knowledge of the world wars, Tanya aims to survive and prove Being X wrong. Number 14, The 12 Kingdoms. Based on the popular novel series by Fuyumi Ono, The 12 Kingdoms is an excellent piece of storytelling. While the novels explore multiple kingdoms inspired by Chinese mythology, the anime focuses on the Kingdom of K. This allows for a deeper look at the kingdom and the main character, Yoko Nakajima. Yoko is a very likable protagonist, and her challenges are relatable enough to captivate fans from various backgrounds. Number 13, The Boy and the Beast. Directed by Mamoru Hosoda, this isekai anime tells the touching story of two outcasts who spend most of their time yelling at each other. Ren, a kid abandoned by his family, follows Kumatetsu, an immature beast, to a secret city called Shibuton, hidden from humans. Because they are both stubborn, it takes them a long time to warm up to each other, but they eventually form a special bond. The Boy and the Beast is a visually stunning film that explores interesting themes and features a great protagonist in Ren. The second half might feel a bit rushed and ends with a somewhat unsatisfying final act, but the rest of the movie is strong. Number 12, Ascendants of a Bookworm. There's nothing wrong with escapist fantasy shows. Anime is a great way to briefly escape reality and enjoy a fun, tension-free adventure. Isekai works well for this, but a few shows break this mold. Ascendants of a Bookworm follows Urano Motosu, a book lover who is reincarnated as Mine, a poor and frail young girl in a fantasy world with clear social class divisions. Without access to books, Mine decides to make her own. The anime handles complex themes in a mature way and features a likable protagonist driven by a unique passion rarely seen in anime. Number 11, Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. Isekai is a concept rather than a genre, so it can include thrillers, character pieces, historical dramas, and even horror. Naturally, there are many isekai comedies, and none do it better than Konosuba. Often seen as a parody of isekai tropes, the show follows Kazuma, a teenager who dies in a ridiculous way but gets a second chance from a clumsy goddess named Aqua. When asked to choose one thing to take into the new world, Kazuma picks Aqua, a choice he sometimes regrets. As Kazuma gathers a group of misfits, Konosuba embarks on a series of funny misadventures that often lead to big laughs. Number 10, Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. Iruma Suzuki is the unluckiest 14-year-old, and his bad luck seems to get worse when his parents sell him to a demon. Surprisingly, life as the grandchild of a demon school's principal is much better than it sounds. It's actually awesome. However, as a human in the netherworld, Iruma must convincingly act like a demon or risk becoming someone's dinner. It is a well-rounded shonen story that delivers action, comedy, romance, and adventure. Iruma is likable, and he is supported by a great cast of characters, each adding something unique to the show. Number 9, Log Horizon. Starting off as just another MMORPG-based isekai, Log Horizon quickly sets itself apart with its intelligent writing. Unlike some other shows, when the main characters are transported into the world of Elder Tale, they work to create the world they've always dreamed of. This show is smart and well-paced, using action effectively without over-relying on it during slower moments. It doesn't overlook the challenges of forming a new society and ensuring a peaceful existence. Log Horizon is one of the most intelligent and interesting isekai of all time. Despite its slower pace, it remains engaging. There are currently 2 seasons out, with a 3rd on the way.
2位ならできる。
おい、まさか両手両足で4キャラ操作しろって。
ファイト。
Number 8, No Game, No Life. Shows that explore the psychology of hikikomori or shut-ins are always fascinating. In No Game, No Life, the 2 main characters are shut-ins that also happen to be master gamers. After winning a chess game against the god Tet, they are transported to the fantasy world of Disboard. In Disboard, no one can hurt each other and all disputes are settled with games. This creates an interesting picture of conflict, and the way the main characters interact with this world is very engaging. Number 7, Inuyasha. Rumiko Takahashi has a talent for blending action, romance, horror, suspense, and fantasy, keeping millions of fans hooked on her works. One of her famous creations is Inuyasha, an epic tale of romance and action that maintained high-quality storytelling for over a decade. This series sets the standard for what a great isekai show should be. If you're looking to start exploring the world of isekai, Inuyasha is a great place to begin. Number 6, Overlord. One of the most popular and creative isekai series in recent years is Overlord. Momonga gets stuck as his powerful character, Ain's Ol Gown, in a world similar to the MMO he used to play. As the ruler of Nazarick, Momonga prioritizes the lives of his people and takes threats seriously. While he doesn't start out as evil, he gradually grows into that role, especially in the 3rd and 4th seasons. This epic, funny, and heartfelt show critically examines issues other anime often overlook. For instance, it explores how a being with near limitless power might feel when placed in a situation promoting global domination. Although being trapped in a game that's shut down isn't a new concept, it offers an intriguing take on the stranger in a strange land trope common in many isekai. Number 5, ReZero. Starting life in another world. ReZero. Starting life in another world is perhaps the best isekai anime focusing on a regular, down-and-out guy. While it features many standard isekai tropes, the quality of the writing elevates the series. Subaru is a grounded and likable character, and the rest of the cast is equally engaging. The first season, in particular, distinguished itself from other isekai anime within just a few episodes. ReZero might leave a bad first impression because Subaru initially comes across as obnoxious, aware he's in an isekai. However, this fits well into the story, as the anime gradually breaks down Subaru's arrogance, leading to some uncomfortable but powerful moments. Even after these turning points, his flaws aren't instantly forgotten, and he continues to make mistakes with real consequences. The secondary characters also receive significant development, especially in Season 2. Number 4, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. This show somehow manages to follow many isekai tropes while at the same time they're breaking or improving them. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime manages to rise above its simple premise to craft some of the most engaging characters in not just isekai, but anime in general. In just 2 seasons, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime has earned a well-deserved place in anime history. One of its strongest points is the characters and their development over time. The spin-off, The Slime Diaries, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, is also worth watching for those who want to spend more time with the franchise's characters. Number 3. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. This is likely the most polarizing isekai anime ever. Based on a popular light novel series, it follows a NEET who is reincarnated in a fantasy world with his memories intact and a direct connection to a godlike figure. Because he is mature for his age, Rudius gets a head start on his magical development, making him a powerhouse. However, he remains a deeply flawed person with scars from his past life and some unsavory personality traits. Rudius can be quite unlikable, especially during the first season. He often invades others' personal space by taking advantage of his youthful appearance and is rather self-absorbed. While he has shown growth throughout the story, his development is subtle and periodically undermined by unnecessary, wish-fulfillment comedic moments. He might not be the most amiable protagonist, but he is more complex than most isekai main characters. Aside from Rudius, Mushoku Tensei excels in its world building and storytelling. The pacing and presentation gradually immerse viewers in a dark fantasy universe with a rich history beyond the protagonist's perspective. The central plot is generally captivating and isn't afraid to change things up from arc to arc. Season 2, for example, is wildly different from its predecessor, focusing more on a school-based slice of life with a unique twist. Number 2. The Eminence in Shadow. The Eminence in Shadow takes many typical isekai tropes and overpowered protagonist, a harem of loyal girls, and convoluted world building and amplifies them to ridiculous heights. Based on a popular light novel series, it creates an experience that exemplifies isekai at its best while also poking fun at its more polarizing aspects. At the center of this absurdity is Sid, a guy with grand and silly ambitions who reincarnates in a world where he can fulfill them. Sid wants to be the shadow that guides society's hand, so he creates a fantasy to make this dream come true. As the leader of Shadow Garden, he leads his army of powerful girls to fight the cult of Diablos. While Sid thinks he is just playing pretend, everyone else takes it 100% seriously, and both enemies and allies misinterpret his actions as more complex than they really are. Sid's obliviousness becomes contrived quickly, but viewers should go along with it since the show is worth it. And the number 1 on our list, Sword Art Online. Sword Art Online is arguably the most well-known isekai series, but it has a polarizing reception, worsened by overexposure. The story centers on Kirito, a powerful Black Knight-type character who forms a charming dynamic with Asuna and interacts with many other female characters. Named after an in-universe game, SAO traps all its players within its world one day. The series has its share of issues, and some seasons are better than others, but its popularity speaks for itself. Along with the main show, Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online is a very good spin-off.